You know, pitting my GVK toys against these GXK toys this week wasn't so bad. Kinda makes me wish I had more GXK and GVK toys to put up against. Perfect. Can't wait to show everyone this and everything else on the live stream. Oh, not again. Welcome back, everybody. I am Sebastian Mammoth, and welcome back to Godzilla vs. Kong Toys vs. Godzilla Kong: The New Empire. Sorry, let me catch my breath. Anyway, now, as we all know, so far we've done Godzilla with H.E.A.V vs. Godzilla Evolved, and here's our winner from that first episode. Godzilla with Radio Tower vs. Godzilla with H.E.A.V 2. Kong with Battle Axe versus Kong with Beast Glove, which Kong's right here, and Mechagodzilla with H.E.A.V versus the Scar King with Whip Slash. Now, for round 5, it's time for the two main spoilers that were leaked for GXK and GVK. And it's time for the Playmates Skullcrawler with H.E.A.V versus Shimo with Frostbite Blast, aka the two main creatures, or well, one of them for GVK that was spoiled and leaked for the movie. So, you know the H.E.A.V by now. Let's just get to it. Ready? Right. And let's see who will win once and for all. Now, what are we waiting for? Let's do it! Okay, now let's start with boxes. You probably know what I'm going to say right now. Box thrown away, boxes in storage. But here are some photos, which we've seen before all this, with Godzilla vs. Kong, and Godzilla Kong: The New Empire, and Godzilla and Kong on the bottom. Logo on the left. Standard stuff on the right, and on the back we have the two characters along with some figures you can collect. Oh wait, no you can't, because Playmates with Mates and Walmart doesn't care about those figures anymore. And on the backs there was a prototype Skullcrawler, not featuring the red on the back, just on the head. I don't know why they even did that. And for Shimo with Frostbite Blast, there wasn't any glow on the tail. Why? Who the heck knows? And the Skullcrawler came with a new vehicle called the H.E.A.V, which we all thought stood for Hollow Earth Anti-Gravity Vehicle, which in my opinion it still does, because like I said, that's why I'm gonna keep calling it that, because that's the true name for me. And on the back of Skullcrawler's box with all the characters you can collect, there was Kongless Fighter Jet, which we will do in another episode. Warbat, who just happens to be the creature who will be fighting against Suko in the next episode. Godzilla with H.E.A.V, Kong with Battle Axe, who we already did in a couple episodes, along with Godzilla with Radio Tower. Since Skullcrawler had some major spoilers on the back with the Warbat, who was not out yet, along with Kong with Fighter Jet, and that was a closed-mouth Kong. And for Shimo's Collect Them All section, there was Scar King with Whip Slash, who actually lost the previous episode, Suko, who we'll be doing in the next episode, Godzilla with H.E.A.V 2, Kong with Beast Glove, who we already did, along with Godzilla Evolved. And they've got two different bios, which, starting with this one, it's the most dangerous super species on Skull Island. The ferocious Skullcrawler attacks with razor-sharp claws and a whiplash tail to dominate opponents in battle. Though they did leave out one major thing, which was the barbed tongue, but that is the gist of it. And Shimo's was quite simple, if y'all remember. A legendary ice titan with unstoppable world-ending powers, Shimo faces Godzilla and Kong with a devastating frostbite blast that can freeze opponents in battle. Which, that already gave us something about Shimo before she was even shown, because she was barely shown in the trailers. Oh wait, no she wasn't. Well, I mean, by then it was kind of too late for Legendary, since the design was already leaked. Anyway, both get a point for boxes, since they were both spoiler figures. Well, not anymore, since the films are already out. But now let's get to designs and history on these figures. Up first, let's start with the Skullcrawler, because it has some assembly, which the tail you will have to attach. And here's the Skullcrawler, and here's its design and paint. Wow. Now, for some reason, all of this red was not featured on the back of the box, which, if you all remember, we did discuss that in the live stream, but I'll discuss it again. And many people had theories on what this red streak was. I mean, they did come from Hollow Earth, and some speculated that this could have been the result of them glowing in the Hollow Earth. I am not quite sure, but we all saw how that happened. And if you all remember back in 20, the Skullcrawler had major eye problems. The eyes were out of place, and they were also funny looking, like in this photo. Sorry, that is just a funny one. And it's like he just went to the doctor and came out paralyzed. But at least they fixed the eyes, because look at that. Much better than 2020. And here's the underbelly before I move on to the arms. And as we can see here, it kind of does look like the Skull Devil from Kong Skull Island, because these little sharp things, dead giveaway. And the red streak here used to stop right here before the tail, but now it stops right here. Because clearly now the rest of this part here features absolutely no red. And here's the top. We can see some battle damage, with some scratches right there. I mean, that's what they looked like. I mean, people thought they were veins or something like that. But unfortunately now this one has scratching problems, because the scratches are not in the right place. I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but you can kind of see where the molds are for the scratches, which is disappointing in that matter. But I think this is my favorite. But there is a story behind this. This is actually my first Skullcrawler, and I did buy a couple more. Like, here's my second Skullcrawler figure. And that's because I wanted to have it feel like Kong Skull Island. And I got a third one, but it's not here because it has a bad leg and has a bad well, it has the same leg. I think I made a video about that another year, a different year. Never mind though. But it's in storage, and I'm not taking it out. So after watching Kong Skull Island, I got a fourth one, which has a little bit of battle damage on the nose. It's bleeding a little. As a matter of fact, I got a bunch of H.E.A.Vs in this bag. So I could definitely light up Las Vegas for a week, or a few more weeks actually. And they actually got some of the details nice, like the teeth, the tongue, the eyes, and the underbelly, pretty much everything. And we'll get to more details like the gimmick later on. Now for Shimo, she has a bit of assembling too, and the tail you will also have to attach. Now look at this amazing design. I think this is my other favorite figure from the line, because look at that, she's also got translucent spikes and crown, and the frostbite blast that we'll see later are translucent color, and she looks just like the movie. Look at that, there's her underbelly and her stomach, and there's the feet, which have all the copyright information, and Skullcrawler has that, but not on the feet, on its bottom. And the tail. And if you all remember from my GXK review, we all discussed that the charge up didn't start right here, but to start with all this. Because as you can see, the glow up right here and the glowing right here is not featured. And the inside's not bad either. Huh, it looks pretty interesting. Now at least this one didn't have any eye problems, which looks pretty cool. And look at that, the Thagomizers. Honestly, this is literally one of my favorites, along with Godzilla Evolved and the Kong with Beast Club and other toys in the line. I love it. And honestly, this is the part where I would give one of them a point for paint and design, but I think they both get points for paints and designs, because look at that. Mainly because they were both spoiler figures. Interesting that this thing is blue, red, sorry, and this thing is blue, sorry, that was a slip of the tongue. Alright, but that's pretty much it for paint and designs. Let's talk articulation. For Skullcrawler's articulation, it's actually simple. Get a hinge at the jaw, which can go about that far. Even have it go like that. No movement at the head, so don't even try. Movement at the arms and the legs, which can also move all the way around. And you can even make it stand up like this. But I'm not going to do that, I'm going to keep it like this. And the tail is actually, since it's on a ball joint, it can move side to side, up and down, a full 360 if you wanted to. And for anyone, the tail does not go like this. It goes up like that. Because look at that. It kind of matches the skin. And honestly, this is much better than that last Skullcrawler from Kong Skull Island, because it was just a hinge at the jaw and that was it. We're looking at you, Lannard, or however you pronounce that company's name. I don't care. Now, Shimo here has more articulation in store. Same hinged jaw like the Skullcrawler. Head movement can actually move all the way around and up about that far and down about that far. And her ankles move, as you see here, both the top and the bottom. The arms can move too, about that far, or I think, or they can even move outward, so you can do that. And you can make her stand up, just like on the box, and in the concept art too. Look at the wait, other way. Look at that, just like the box in the concept art. And you can have her sit down like a good girl. Look at that. She's sitting like a dog. And the tail is on a ball joint, so same movement as the Skullcrawler. Where you can move it 360, side to side, up and down. Heck, you can even make it look like that little concept art image that was never used. So in points of articulation, I think Shimo gets points for articulation. She's got more in store, whereas the Skullcrawler just has less and more than what she has. Sorry, but that's pretty much it for articulation. Now it's time for accessories and gimmicks. So here are the accessories. See, I told you I have a bunch of heaves from other Skullcrawlers. And there's the frostbite blast. But let's take a look at the Skullcrawler's gimmick and accessory first. So these are pretty much all the heaves I have collected from all 4 of my Skullcrawlers. Which now I have a heave army with this one and some green heaves and the biomimic heaves. Which, look at this, it looks just like the movie. It's got like levitating, and there's some numbering on the bottom. And this looks like the hatch, and there's the window. I think that's the fanning thing, and here's the top. Kudos to Walter Simmons and Maya Simmons for making these Hollow Earth anti-gravity vehicles. And I'm still calling them that. I don't care what Mr. Simmons says, but that's what I'm calling them. No offense to any Monsterverse fans or you, Walter Simmons. And now the Skullcrawler here has another effect, which is the battle damage reveal, which you can... Pacha! Here's the battle damage reveal on its backs, and you can see its bloody spine. Which, this kind of predicted what was going to happen, because this thing would literally be dead, though, if that much was taken off. And here's the battle damage piece where you can just easily snap it back on. I still wonder who else would have ripped that part out of him if Mechagodzilla was not in the film. Because I kind of think it would be Kong, because that much would have been like a battle axe wound. But yeah, out of all the heaves, I think this one along with the green heaves are my favorite, because I like to see the green heaves as the VIP heaves, whereas I like to see these as standard heaves. But I would have accepted if they were in different colors, like maybe a red heave, or maybe an orange heave. Heck, maybe a golden heave. That would have been pretty cool. And I kind of wish that the Skullcrawler had some bone coloring in there, though, because, as we all know, like I said, this thing has battle damage, but unfortunately, Shimo with frostbite doesn't have battle damage. Which I would have accepted if there was a battle damage piece either right here or underneath the stomach, or maybe on one of the legs, or heck, maybe on the forehead. That would have been really cool, but we'll probably never get that in the future, because I understand, I've said this too many times, yeah, if you all don't know, Playmates decided it would be okay to stop doing battle damage features and just force us to say goodbye forever to that. Because, man, they really don't care about battle damage anymore. But she does come with the frostbite blast, which it looks just like evolved Godzilla's breath, but Shimo's. And there's a little new plug for her breath, and there's a little hole inside of it, out of the figure. And here's Shimo with the frostbite blast inside. It looks pretty cool, actually. It's all translucent color, and you can actually give any of your toys frostbite blast. So you can even have it free some of your toy accessories. Overall, I think they both get a point for accessories. Because look at that, they got the 2 best accessories in the line. Besides, they were also leaked as well, along with this heave and its name. Same with this thing, since it gave us something already about Shimo, and honestly, I imagine she was supposed to cause some more harm with that thing. And I imagine she's gonna cause more harm with this in Supernova. Which I hope she does not die, and I hope the Skullcrawler returns. And let me tell you guys, when I went to see Godzilla Kong the New Empire, I was hoping to see like maybe Shimo fending off a Skullcrawler, or Scar King fighting one, or maybe something like that. And honestly, and when I went to see Godzilla vs. Kong, I kind of suspected that maybe Godzilla would maybe team up with the Skullcrawler, because this thing and Godzilla both wanted Kong dead in the first place. But we didn't get any of that. Next thing you know, we're probably never going to get that in Supernova. But though again, if the Skullcrawlers do appear in GXK Supernova, then we might see some fight against Space Godzilla or fight with him. I don't know. Alright, so far, both of them have points for accessories. But now it's time for the big brawl. Skullcrawler versus Shimo. Which, Shimo could honestly tell this is gonna get violent. So if you don't want to see it, then just skip ahead a little bit to the winning results. I don't know how far. But, yeah, so let the battle that Skullcrawler and Shimo got themselves into begin!
Get your spectral sock out, nerds.
Oh, goodness me. It's another tie. And it looks like Shimo spared the Skullcrawler. Probably because she knew that I'd get mad. And if she killed him. Well, in that case, I declare this a tie. GVK and GXK get another point. Spectacular. Well, I'm sure your other masters will be proud of what happened today. Thank you. That is all. You're dismissed. Well, folks, that's going to do it for this battle today, and that's all the time we have. Make sure you tune in next time for our next battle for GVK versus GXK, which is Warbound with Osprey versus Suko with Titanus Doug. I don't know who's going to win this fight. Will Titanus Nozuki win this battle? Will Suko and Titanus Doug win the battle? Tune in next time for this exciting round 6 battle, and I will see you all in the next video or live stream or episode. Bye-bye.